Hello and welcome to this abdominal toning workout using Pilates. So the first thing we need to think about is how to do a Pilates crunch. It's a little bit different from the crunches that you might have done in the gym before. So we're thinking about this section of the body like a tin can. The deep abdominals come all the way around like the label of the can. And then we need to think about the pelvic floor being the bottom of the can and the diaphragm being the top. If we just think about relaxing our breathing, then the diaphragm should stay in position and not brace down and push outwards everywhere. The pelvic floor needs to lift up, and that's how we contract through the deep abdominals. We think about the contraction through the pelvic floor. And then we need to think about shortening and contracting and squashing that can almost without bulging outwards. So we need to think about drawing down through the front of the body and also drawing down through the back of the body. So we do also think about 2 springs on the front of the body here, drawing down and contracting forwards, but also 2 springs on the back, drawing down at the back. So we're actually drawing everything down, and that's how we get toning all the way around. So we're going to start off on our backs in the Pilates rest position. So if you haven't been through this before, you can watch my Pilates for beginners. If you tuck the chin, lengthen the back of the neck, open out through the front of the chest, melt those ribs down, find the little arch in the lower back here, and then your feet happily hip width apart. And then we need to think about tightening through the pelvic floor. As we tighten the pelvic floor, we tighten that corset muscle, your transversus abdominis, the tin can all the way around here. If we put our hands behind our back, behind our heads to come into that crunch, then we're shortening down at the front and shortening at the back as well. So we're not actually thinking about coming up into that crunch very far. We're just shortening at the front and shortening at the back as we crunch. So first of all, we're just going to do some of these Pilates crunches here, drawing in through that lower tummy, drawing down and crunching at this kind of speed. So make sure that breathing is relaxed, make sure the elbows are wide, the chin is tucked, and we're initiating the crunch by drawing the ribs down to the pelvis at the front here. So we're just crunching. Good work, drawing those shoulder blades down at the back, making sure we're not flattening through the lower back as we crunch up. For some of you, that'll be very natural. For others, you're going to have to think about holding that little arch in the back and tensing the little muscles in the lower back just to hold you there. This becomes much more natural as time goes on. Make sure you plant the feet nicely down into the floor as we go. Hold on to that pelvic floor muscle. Don't let everything push downwards and push out through that pelvic floor. Try and hold on to that. Good work. We're going to put one arm down by the side here, other hand behind the head. We're not coming across quite yet. We're just crunching. It just changes the exercise very slightly and stops it getting too boring, because we've got to do quite high numbers of these crunches to get some toning effects. Good, so you're stretching your fingertips down towards your toes each time with that hand, keeping the elbow wide, supporting the head with the fingertips there, but not too strongly, because we want to strengthen around the neck as well. Good, make sure you keep drawing in through that lower tummy. Good work. Other side, that hand behind the head, other side. Keep thinking about drawing those shoulder blades down the chest wall at the back. Keep thinking about that little arch. Keep thinking about the pelvic floor. And relaxing your breathing. Brilliant. So you should be feeling around those lower abdominals now, hopefully not too much around the ribs at the top, although we are working that 6-pack muscle, that rectus abdominis, so you will feel a little bit underneath the ribs here. That's where it attaches. Brilliant. Cool, good stuff. Right, coming down, we're going to bring the legs up to tabletop. So we need to think about those same principles when we bring the legs up. That right leg comes up to tabletop first, draw the ribs down, keep the little arch in the back, and then draw up the other leg. You need to think about scooping in through that lower tummy. When that second leg lifts up, you will want to push out a little bit through here. So hands behind the head, come into the crunch, and then we're going to be doing the same, just crunching up with those legs in that nice tabletop position, which brings the exercise a little bit more into those lower abdominals. So it's a little bit difficult to maintain your positions here, but just keep going. Keep thinking about drawing down the chest wall at the back. I'd forgotten a little bit there as I was going. Keeping your arch. Keep those elbows wide. Keep thinking about leading with the ribs as you pull down. Just a couple more. And keep that left hand behind the head, right arm down by your side, and carry on crunching there. You'll notice I don't come all the way down to the floor, and you'll notice I don't come all the way up either. It's just a little pulse in that range. Just thinking about rocking backwards and forwards on that bra strap level. Good, other side. Good stuff. So you should be starting to shake just a little bit now. It is getting difficult. It's getting difficult to hold those legs up too. Good stuff. Just keep thinking about drawing in and drawing down. Brilliant. Legs on the floor, one at a time, and head down. Then we're going to do a few hundreds. So that's just a crunch, staying up in the crunch and moving the hands up and down. Bring your chin to your chest, your shoulders off, keep that little arch in the back, arms down by your sides, and up and down the hands. Draw in through that pelvic floor. So everything at the moment is pushing down, and you want to think about lifting up through the pelvic floor. And keep your breathing going. You can breathe in for 5 and out for 5 with these, which is quite useful. Make sure the movements through the arms are not too big and not too small. Good stuff. Bring that right hand behind the head, just support the neck a little bit. Keep that elbow wide, left hand up and down. So you're getting a nice burning through the abs here. But every time you change, then it's a little bit of a change of emotion through the abs, and then you get a second wind. Other side. Good. Trying to keep as still as you can through the abdominals and through the middle. Good stuff. Coming down. Let's bring the legs back up to tabletop again. Again, just a little bit of a change. No hands behind the head. Shoulders off. Brilliant. Draw down the chest wall at the back as well. Keep that little arch in the back. Keep drawing in through that lower tummy. If you do it like me without a vest top on, if you do it at home or even in the gym, if you're confident enough, you can just keep glancing down and making sure that your lower tummy isn't pushing out as a telltale sign that you're bracing outwards a little bit too much. Good stuff. You can just check your feet are in line as I did there by glancing down the legs. Okay, so protect the neck a little bit, right hand behind the head, left arm up and down. Keep that breathing nice and controlled. Keep drawing in, keep the little arch in the back. That keeps the pelvis in neutral and keeps your deep abdominals working. Good, swap sides. Keep that elbow wide, keep drawing down the chest wall at the back. Good stuff. Now, because you're a little bit fed up of being up in that position now, I'm sure, we're going to do a different exercise, a little bit more from the obliques. Legs up, knees and toes pinned together, arms out to the side, take the legs over to the side. Now, we're not stretching the back, although it is going to feel like a relatively nice stretch to do. We're just rolling the legs over to the side, picking the hip up, and drawing the hip back down using those abdominals. So picking up through the hip, drawing back down using those abdominals again, making sure that you're not bracing, making sure that you keep tight through those deep abdominals and the pelvic floor. Good stuff. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears, fingertips pushing out towards the side. Good work. Keep drawing in to pull back down. And keep breathing. One more each side. Good stuff. Keep the legs up in tabletop there. Hands behind the head. Into your crunch. Draw in through the tummy. Stretch out the right leg and rotate to the left now. Pause back at the center. Stretch out the left and rotate to the right. Good. So we're rotating through a pole down through the spine. Keep thinking about drawing in through that lower tummy. We're rotating using those obliques, but we're also using the rectus abdominis to hold us up, and we're also using the deep abdominals. So this is combining all of your abs together, this exercise. So difficult to do, especially when everything's a little bit exhausted. Good, you can do it with the feet on the floor, stretching the arms out, stretching the legs out along the floor, or you can do it with your body down as well at the same time. Just doing the legs. Good. Let's do 4 more. 2, 3, 4, and just to finish off, let's see if we can do 10 crunches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Trying to keep strict with all those principles. Brilliant stuff. Bring the knees into the chest. I like to stretch off through the abdominals by actually shortening them and giving them a little bit of a rest rather than stretching like a cobra, which actually lengthens them and doesn't encourage them to tone. So coming back up. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this workout for toning through the abdominals. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up or maybe a comment in the comment box, and definitely remember to subscribe.